Hey guys, welcome to Pink TV. I am Scott Ulmer, standing in the door of a house that we just closed on last week. It's what is a pre-foreclosure flip. Say that fast 5 times. There's a mouthful. This is a deal that we bought pre-foreclosure. What I want to stress right now in today's market, in the current market in every city across the country, pre-foreclosures are great targets. Everybody went through COVID. Everybody knows that there was a moratorium placed on not only evictions but foreclosures. What that means, if you're not aware, is that the government placed restrictions on banks' abilities to foreclose on borrowers or buyers, homeowners that couldn't make their payments. And so what happened is you had people, some took advantage, some genuinely couldn't pay, which is why they put the moratorium. A lot of people lost income, lost portions of their income, some significant. Many lost jobs as well. So there was a lot of merit to the moratoriums. In fact, it saved millions of people from losing their homes. However, when the moratorium was lifted, many millions of people were in a position that they could never recover from, unfortunately, which is why there's a prevalence of pre-foreclosures all over the country. What we're going to do in this video series is break down exactly how we found the deal. I'm going to share that with you in just a minute. I'm also going to tell you exactly what our game plan is and what we're going to make. We do have a couple of real-time videos we're going to share and a couple of potential exit strategies we haven't concluded yet. We're going to show you what we're going to make. There's neighbors around. I don't want to be too ostentatious. We don't talk about money out here. Come on in. Let me show you this house real quick. I'm going to tell you exactly what we plan to make on this deal and ultimately what our exit strategies are going to be. Now, but this is a house, no appliances, clearly needs some work, but it's in an amazing neighborhood, gated community. This has been a gem, guys. It's been an absolute gem. And so I can tell you this, now that the neighbors aren't looking, now that nobody's watching, this is a 6-figure deal for us. We intend on making over $100,000 on this flip. Over $100,000. Now, we may sell it as it sits. We have made such a good deal here that if we sold it without touching it, we think we can make about 75 grand. If we go for what we call the long dollar, which is where we go ahead and rehab it, where we have time and money and cost and contractors and things that go into rehabs, there's nothing wrong with those, but that certainly is going to cost more money, and it's a bit of a gamble. Do you go for the long dollar and hope to make over $100,000, or do you sell it as it sits with no work and make $75,000? Either way, we're winning today. We're excited about this deal. These are deals that ultimately, if you're looking to get out of your W-2 job, if you're looking for freedom, if you're looking to do deals, they don't get much better than this. And so I just want to tell you that these pre-foreclosures are a hot commodity. The pre-foreclosure 6-figure flip, right? Say that fast, as I said. So I'm going to go back to the lab, back to the office, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I found the deal because sometimes you just where you look and ultimately what you say that dictates what you earn. So go back to the lab and break the deal down and show you exactly where we found it. Come on. Hey guys, we are back in the lab. I changed clothes. I need to be a little more presentable because I'm in the lab here. We're going to go through this deal and break it down in great detail. And most importantly, I've got 3 action items at the end of this video. You want to stay tuned to the end. I'm going to share with you exactly what you can do to get your first pre-foreclosure flip deal as soon as possible. There are opportunities out there in every market in the country. First of all, I want to start with how we found the deal, right? The deals are out there, but you've got to know where to look and ultimately what to say. So we started with REO agents. Well, what is an REO agent? REO stands for real estate owned. Real estate owned means that the bank who lent money on the property ultimately took the property back. So that means it is a true foreclosure, and we're trying to get ahead of that to the pre-foreclosure, but REO agents who specialize in dealing with these types of properties are who you want to contact. So let me break that down a little bit. Everybody watching this video knows a real estate agent, at least most of you do. Now, they may not be the agent that you need to communicate with for these types of properties, but they certainly can give you direction. So you want to look for somebody who works with banks that take properties back. More specifically, you want to work with an agent who works with investors, somebody who deals with people just like you and I that understand the nature of what we do and ultimately can be a source of potential leads for you. Listen, every agent has access to the MLS, but not every agent deals with these types of properties. If you're dealing with a luxury agent who sells high-end properties, who deals with resorts and luxury properties, that's not the agent that's going to feed you these types of deals. You want an agent who works with investors, who's investor-friendly, understands the market, and understands that there are opportunities out there. REO agents are really who you can start with. So how we found this deal specifically, and ultimately how we found the REO agent, is we kind of work backwards. So there's a site called Hubzu, H-U-B-Z-U, Hubzu, very weird name, but Hubzu is a website that has auction properties on it. So if you go to Hubzu, you'll find properties in your area, you can find out by just kind of doing a little bit of detective work who the agent is for that particular property. Now, Hubzu is going to auction them, but every property had an agent that ultimately brought it to Hubzu. On this property here, found the agent, who the agent was before it got on the Hubzu website, did a little detective work, found her, called her, and ultimately that's how we found this particular deal. And so we talked through it. She gave me the details of the deal, gave me kind of the breakdown, and ultimately we were able to put it together. So very, very big takeaway, very important point. Find an agent in your market that deals with investors, whether they're REOs, real estate owned, or they deal with pre-foreclosures, or they deal with all of the above. They can be a source of leads for you, and I can tell you this. We've identified a few in our market. They feed us leads every single day. Not every week, every day. Now, not every deal is a deal for us, but ultimately we're looking at a lot of opportunities. You should be doing the exact same. So we talked to the REO agent, talk numbers, talk where it was listed before, what they think it could be worth once it's fixed up, and ultimately we were able to put an offer on the table of $310,000. That deal got accepted. Very, very good, very excited, got the green check mark, that's always a big positive, and ultimately we went to secure funding. We borrowed $340,000 with the intent to do a rehab. Now, we did do some things. We pulled out the carpet. If you saw the video prior, you saw the carpet was pretty nasty. There was a room in the back. It had to have been a high school boy who was doing things we don't even want to discuss on this video. It had some blue paint and some yellow paint. It had some things in the closet I won't even talk about. No, I'm just kidding. That's a little bit much. But ultimately, the house did need some things. But simply by ripping up carpet, maybe whitewashing some walls, that can actually make the house look a lot different. So what we concluded was, we didn't have to do a full rehab on this property. It was in good enough condition to where we could sell it really in its as-is condition. So what we did is we took it out to the market at $395. Now, I will tell you this, fixed up, the after repaired value on this property is somewhere in the mid 400s. We have comps to support that, and that means taking the house to a long, full rehab, ultimately going at the top of the market and having the price or the property sell at a full retail value. Nothing wrong with that, but if you don't have to rehab and you make a good buy, you can sell it really as it sits, let somebody else come in there and put some flooring and some paint, and they're going to be able to not only have equity from the time they walk in, but you get to sell it without rehabbing it, without dealing with contractors and all the things that go into contractors. And there's great things that come with rehabs, but there's also the flip side. You have to spend the money. You have to deal with contractors and cut corners and maybe miss deadlines and other things that could become inspection items, but ultimately, there's a benefit when you rehab. If you can sell them short, you might be able to get away without having to do the work and still make a heck of a profit. So we always will market the property, if it's marketable, at a price today without doing the rehab, and a price tomorrow with doing the rehab. If we have a taker and it's a good profit, then we'll probably sell it. Well, guess what? We found a taker at $395. So buyer offer comes in. Now they came in a little lower, but we negotiated, and ultimately this was our price. Pretty easy sale. You've got $450 value with some minor repairs that you as the buyer get to benefit from. So you can come in, pay a little bit less, but do the work yourself and have a good equity position. And because we made a good buy, we can sell it for a little less. So we took the offer, got it accepted at $395, sold down the road, and guess what? We made $85,000 on the deal. Now, that's a nice payday. Very happy with that. You don't have to make $85,000 on your first deal to have a great experience. You can find this property, you can find the agents that can bring you these types of deals, and ultimately, if you don't have the money to close it, you can always assign that to somebody else. They can then take the long dollar, but you can walk with $10,000, $20,000, sometimes more than that, just by assigning the property. Now, we're going to do another video on what it takes to assign and what that looks like, but it's not very complicated. It's all about finding the deal. If you know where to look and how to find the deals, you can then secure these properties and assign them for a profit. So, would you be happy with $85,000? Me too. And we are happy with that deal. But remember, you don't have to make the $85,000 to make a lot of money doing real estate. So, having said all that, this was a great deal. You guys had a chance to take a look at it. Definitely needed some things, but it's a home run for us, and we'll do these every day of the week. Now, I told you if you stuck around, I was going to give you the 3 action items. Here they are. Number 1, find an REO agent in your market. Talk to the agent that you know. Whether they deal with REOs or not, they can probably direct you to somebody that does deal with investors. Whether it's a true REO agent that only deals with bank-owned properties or an agent that deals with investors, they're out there. So number 1, Find an agent that can feed you leads. Really big deal. Start looking at deals. Even if you're not ready to make offers, start looking at the market. Look at the prices. Look at what they sell for. Look what they were originally asking if there were reductions. Get a feel for what your market looks like. Start getting leads sent to you, right? Number one. Number two, join Facebook groups in your area. Look for real estate investors, real estate investor Facebook groups. You'll get into a couple. Again, you're going to start seeing the market fluctuations, what's going on in the market, and ultimately there's going to be opportunities that you can look at, and you never know when a cherry is going to pop up. And that's the one that you want to act on. And number three, this is another really big one, call the wholesalers in your area. Look up the iBuyHouse people and people that are selling on Craigslist, and you'll find a dozen wholesalers like that. Call them, say, I'm a cash buyer, and whether you're a cash buyer or not doesn't matter. I'm a cash buyer looking for opportunities. If you have any, I'd love to be a first phone call. If you have deals that you don't want to close on, I'd love to close them as well, but we want to get on your list. Can we establish a relationship and be a phone call when you have deals that come through? Wholesalers are looking for people like you to wholesale the properties to. They spend a lot of money finding the leads. They need someone to buy them, and you never know when there's a deal that they're going to give you that you can do the same thing, assign it to somebody else. We've got three of those going on right now. 2 or 3, I can't tell. We have 3 deals literally right now that we're wholesaling from a wholesaler. So we're buying them from a wholesaler, we're wholesaling to somebody else. We're not even going to close them and make a good profit. So you can do the same. If you want to get started, you want to start looking at deals like this, the 3 action items: find an agent, join Facebook groups, and get with wholesalers in your area. They're going to bring you leads. You don't have to make 85 grand to have a heck of a deal. You want to get started. These are 3 really, really powerful action steps to take. So I hope you take action. The people that make it out there are the ones that don't sit around and think about it. They go out and do it. Take action. These are 3 things that can change your career. They can help you get into real estate, and I'm telling you, they are very, very valuable tidbits. So I hope that you put them in play, and I hope that you make a lot of money and you get into real estate as soon as possible. So we've got some good things that we're going to segue from this video. Stay tuned, and I will see you on the next video.